Warning, Caffeinated Conquest features adult nerds using adult language. Seriously, don't say we didn't warn you.
So, I am in contact with Wizards of the Coast, asking to use some magic art assets. They told me not to use anything yet. Hopefully I can spruce up the videos visually pretty soon. But let's get right into this. Let's go around the table and give me a couple of words about your characters.
I am Richard Garfield. I am a human. I, as a small child, traveled around Zendikar with my father. He was an architect. My family always had a decent amount of money, as my great-great-granduncle was the inventor of the paperclip. I, as a young boy, as in late preteens, I started to hang around Seagate when my father moved us there permanently, and at which point I joined the Lighthouse to study to become a lull mage. Wow, let's see how bad your background. You know, all of the blank page.
Thank you.
After studying to become a law mage, I hung around the library, got a job doing stuff there, and found a book. That's where I'm at.
X.
I don't have such a happy backstory. Well, my character's past is full of trauma that I have not figured out yet.
He's just gonna brood until it eventually comes to light for everybody.
He's an amnesiac Batman.
I'm Batman.
And I'm the elf ranger, so...
Joraga, elf.
Joraga.
Your name?
The racist elf ranger. It's gonna be fun.
Your name?
Ixvara.
Ixvara. I like
Ixvara.
No one's gonna fucking...
Adam, the core rogue.
Yeah. I am Leviathan, the rogue. I stab people from the back with grappling hooks or daggers. I bring them back toward me. Woohoo!
Do you have a preference?
I'm like a cowboy.
And if you choose me for your date, I'll string you up.
And what was it that caused you to leave the livelihood of the core? What's your alignment?
Chaotic, neutral. Or wait, is chaotic neutral pretty much? Yeah.
So what made you deviate from the lawful goodness of the core?
I just wanted to see what the world had in store for me.
Okay.
You want to get fucked up.
Run, Springer!
He was here for the spring of breaks.
the break of spring.
I am Gren of House Calastria. I am an emissary of Dralna, sent to Seagate to study the Hedrons and any manipulation of the royal that I could come to understand, and I have a particular aptitude at the use of black mana.
And you are also a noble that is currently carting 3 gnolls through Seagate.
Yes, I don't know why everybody keeps looking at them. It's a completely normal thing where I come from.
Well, at least they're not looking back. They're just kind of...
Hence the army of gnolls.
Yes.
And you're a vampire.
Yes, and I'm a vampire.
Vampire. Lovely. I'm Aether Wolf. I'm a human. I'm a wandering soul hero of towns, and I've ended up in the city looking for more adventure and fame.
Good place to look.
I is Azimaz. Ever since found small totem which give me special power, I can now heal the sick and the poor.
You can hear...
But not the rich.
But not the rich.
You're the rich.
Never said was smart. Never said was smart.
And you are a goblin shaman of which tribe?
I am a goblin shaman of the
Grotag?
Grotag.
Line.
Well, perfectly intelligent, guys.
Goblin shaman of Grotag. I have traveled seeking enlightenment. Not many goblins are very smart, but I strive a little bit to be.
We're setting that bar real low.
Tom?
I am Helmut the Merfolk.
What are you pointing at?
Project.
Do it to the camera.
That's
Not to the camera.
The camera. Microphone.
What is the icon?
I'm just a wandering rock star. I just want more people to hear the melodies I like to project.
Okay, so we are starting in the city of Seagate in Tazim. You guys, right now, whether long-term or temporarily, there is quite a lot of turnover in this line of work, mostly because people die, are working with the Valakut House, so named for their first expedition to Valakut, the Molten Pinnacle. They're an expeditionary house, and often they will sponsor expeditions into the vast wilderness of Zendikar, where priceless treasures and deadly perils await. And in the continent of Tazim, the sky is choked with these rhombus-shaped stones, intricately carved, called hedrons. Nobody knows what they're for or where they come from. All that is known is that they carry some sort of magic power within them. Tom, you as a merfolk believe that it was once part of the castle of Ameria, your sky god that was shattered by some great catastrophe. But today, you guys are reporting to the lighthouse at Seagate, a 20-story lighthouse that overlooks the great inland sea of Halimar. And the lighthouse is the center of all learning for Tazim. This is where people study to learn about the ruins or artifacts or magic or what have you. This is basically the school. Also, before we get started, I should let everyone know, in Zendikar, there is a phenomena called the Royal. Because the land itself is so chaotic, natural disasters can spring up at will. So, for the first house rule we'll be using for this campaign, I have allowed Zendikar to count as a elemental creature for the purposes of quieting the Royal, our helpful lull mage over here. Can target it with things such as sleep, calm emotions, God damn, there went my train of thought. Hold monster, things like that to basically create a bubble of safety for himself. Secondly, we are using a house rule that I haven't told my players about yet.
Oh, that's fun.
Zendikar is a land of volatile mana, where anything can happen. Ergo, if you get a natural 1 on a spell attack roll, or your target gets a natural 20 on a save,
Chaos.
you will roll on the wild magic table as if you were a wild magic sorcerer. That's not necessarily a bad thing. Sometimes that can be helpful.
That is awesome.
I'm
I'm so glad I didn't go Warlock now.
So, you are at the lighthouse now, and you are scheduled to meet with your patron, someone who wishes to hire the Valakut house, a merfolk by the name of Talamikir. And as you sort of approach the room that you know Talam to be in, where you're supposed to meet him, you can see him. He's a fairly wizened merfolk, and he stares down with furrowed brow and a very grim countenance into an onyx basin of water. And he stares into it and does not appear to like what he sees. And the floor is yours.
See what you did, Goblin.
And then the floor opens up.
The floor opens up and
I'll approach first.
And now we are the floor.
So as you sort of enter the room, he's immediately roused by the three behind you, and he
Like,
sort of looks up.
Werther! Wagner, silence!
And he sort of looks up. Oh dear. Valakut house.
Yes.
Yes.
No,
Yes. Come in. And he will set aside his scrying basin.
Grim portents do you see in that? I say in merfolk.
He says, for some time now I have. There is something dark on the horizon. I can't tell what it is.
Is this a reflection? Don't worry.
I must say, they did get better from the first joke.
Dicks.
The merfolk will purse his lips.
Apologies.
I've heard many things about your people, but indeed you do seem to be the cultured one.
Well, of course, we're the only culture on this entire plane of existence.
Thank you.
Anyway, the dark portents are why I've called you all here. Some of the other ruined sages and I have come to a similar agreement. We see dark, amorphous things, but we can't make sense of them. We know of an artifact that might be able to help, but obtaining it will not be easy. It is called the Eye of Asterian. Asterian was a sage long ago. He was purported to be able to see the future in some sort of looking glass that he carried, such to the point where Asterian eventually went insane. Over time, a cult gathered around him. So great were his portents. And when he eventually died, his ravings of faceless gods becoming so great, they had turned the temple they had built for him into a tomb, where they interred his looking glass, his body, and from what I understand, a horrible sculpture of the things he saw. And of course, as many good tomb guardians do in this world, riddled it with traps.
To be expected.
If you are of an adventuresome enough ilk to find the Eye of Asterian, the Lighthouse is willing to sponsor your expedition to the tune of 500 gold for each of you. We will, of course, be providing half of it up front to cover any necessary travel expenses and any other gear you may need. And of course, should any of your company not make it, we will happily split the remainder up amongst the survivors.
I sort of look at the goblin as he says, not make it.
Huh?
I kind of noticed you looking at the goblin as he says, not make it.
I am staring intently at the corner of the room.
What do you see, little one?
Lots of books. The room that you're in is just wall to wall, shelves and books and scrolls and...
The scent of knowledge is orgasmic.
Sorry, I got lost. He stopped for a while and it became boring.
I reach for a really high one and hand it to him.
What is this?
I can't read.
Use that one.
Oh god.
He just rips out a page and eats it.
I go and immediately, what can I cast to stop him from eating them? Fireball!
You don't need to waste a spell slot.
Mage head. If the goblin eats another book, I'm going to staple his ass to a return form. Mage head. Oh.
As you sort of like mage hand him down, Talon will look in your direction. He says, Richard, I didn't know you had joined Valakut House.
Well, you know, I wanted to find some artifacts. I've been stuck up in the library for so long. Dick, call me Dick. Richard is the name my father gave me. Dick. Yeah, I need to see what else is besides the lighthouse.
By the way, my condolences on your match with Patrick Chapin.
Oh, thank you.
He says, so, what say you?
I'm in. Just another game. Why not?
Oh, this is no game.
Oh, it's always just a game.
This expedition will take you deep into the bowels of the Oran Reef Forest. You've been around Tazim long enough to know exactly what can happen there.
Yeah.
I do not doubt that the artifact we will be pulling out will be worth whatever trouble we find along the way, and I would like to extend an offer to help you look at it, should you accept.
Most certainly, I could use all the extra opinions I could get.
The ley lines guide me, and I follow.
You divine caster.
As I also your books taste very good.
As I mage hand it away from him again.
Yes, that is not food, little one. I will attempt to hold my temper for the purposes of our arrangement, but please do refrain. Great head.
Peace be with you as I draw like a holy symbol.
You're a goblin. Your holy symbol is fire.
Yeah, what do you think?
He does. The fire just makes a middle finger.
He says,
Take butt.
Okay.
he says, you are all familiar with Magosi the Water Veil, yes?
Yeah,
Yes.
I am
Sure.
You would know.
History check?
Huh?
History check?
You don't need it.
Okay.
Magosi the Water Veil is one of the largest waterfalls in Tazim. It is 300 feet tall and quite a beautiful sight. He says, at the top of the waterfall is a small settlement called Magosi Portage. You are to venture to Magosi Portage, and there meet with a colleague of mine, another merfolk by the name of Koli Nair. She will be able to guide you to the ruins. How you reach the portage is up to you.
Is it on the same continent as us?
Yeah, it's on Tazim.
Okay, you said Tazim. How far away is it on, because it's bisected by that giant river, right?
It is actually along the Umara River.
Okay.
Yes.
So we can take a boat?
You can absolutely take a boat. Actually, why don't you give me an insight check?
I can do that!
You automatically know, because your backstory, you've been traveling around.
Yeah.
That is a lot more than necessary.
Yeah.
Okay, good to know. Magosi is located about halfway. I have to kind of eyeball this because there's not an official map of Zendikar yet. It's about halfway down the Umara River Gorge. Now, you can reach the gorge by sailing across Halimar, the inland sea. There's a lot of maritime trade. However, there are royal tides, there are desperate people looking to make a quick buck, and there are leviathans that dwell within the ocean's depths. Now that's the safe route. The other way to do that is to go around Halimar by land, where giant sea octopuses make their home in caves. Thank you. Or you could attempt to take a land route through Tazim, which may be even more dangerous.
Is it quicker?
I'm sure
The
most
fastest and safest route would be across Halimar to the Umara Gorge. Halfway down the Umara Gorge, you will reach Magosi Portage.
We get more experience with the
Do we gain more
Can
adventure
we take a
knowledge?
path of hedrons?
You're
just
still a
up in
party,
the air,
you
just,
go both
jump
ways.
from- Till we get there.
Can we get a flying manta?
You do know that there are merfolk settlements in the Umara Gorge that do have sky mantas, and quite often you can see sky mantas traversing the way back and forth. So once you actually reach the gorge, there's a strong chance that you can get one. But you will need a boat to actually cross the Halimar.
So we charter a ship.
We can make our way along, possibly protecting a trading vessel.
Hopefully the captain isn't crazy.
Who's got good charisma to look for a non-crazy captain?
Nice.
Helmet does. I'm really good at judging people.
Glad to have you in our group, sir.
How much gold is he paying us up front?
250.
Is he giving that to us now?
Yes, as soon as you guys sign on.
How much are the gnolls getting?
0. Sure knowns.
The Nulls get a strange look from Talim.
How much is that worth?
That's up to him.
Plus my 5.
Is it priceless?
They prefer rancid meat. No.
Ew.
That is awful.
Let's see.
Well, I need
Talim
the
will
fresh
sort
one.
of like patronizingly try to pat one of the Nulls
Oh,
on
no,
the
no, no, don't do that.
Yes, yes. Oh, one last thing. Do try to be as swift as possible. I do realize it is a long journey. However, the Palaka Foundation recently announced a very similar expedition. I know not what they intend to do with the artifact. However, I would like to not take the chance of it winding up on some idle merchant's mantle.
Worry not gonna beat the swiftness of an elf.
Ah, you're the Duraga.
Can you tell us anything else about that expedition?
What would you like to know?
When they set forth, how many, etc.
I'm not entirely certain. I can tell you that the expedition was announced 2 days ago, and it's likely they did not drag their feet. So,
We're already behind.
We should have this for the Wall of Darkness. This thing in all black.
Adam, did you hear how no one laughed at that?
Fucked up.